Hello, this is Sunil Sunder with Top Preps. Today, I'm happy to be speaking with Jake Beauchaine, who just wrapped up his junior year at Capistrano Valley Christian High School and will be graduating in 2023, and is also an outfielder on the varsity baseball team. And most importantly, the winner of the Top Preps Mega Tweet Contest. Jake, thank you so much again for taking some time out to me. Congratulations, or with me, just congratulations. Again, winning the contest, and again, incredible, junior year there at Capistrano Valley Christian High School.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Top Preps, for having me. I'm super stoked to be here. Super stoked that I won the contest, and yeah, I had a great season.
Let's talk about it. A two-year varsity starter, batting leadoff. I'm going to rattle these numbers off. So impressive, Jake. Batted 383 and 81 at-bats, a 474 on-base percentage, 703 slugging percentage, 14 RBIs, 10 doubles, 2 triples, 4 home runs, and 12 stolen bases. As you said, played the outfield this season. You were DH last year. Talk about, really how you were able to really step up your game, this past season.
Yeah. So one of my bigger weaknesses last season was my speed. And due to that, I had a hard time playing the outfield and tracking balls. So I specifically worked on really developing my speed in the off season. And it really put me in a good position for this season where it showed I batted leadoff, and it really helped me with my stolen bases and on base percentage, and roaming the outfield. Got a lot better with reads and tracking down balls. So that was a focal point of my training during the off season, and it really paid off for me.
And I'm just wondering, Jake, going into this season, did you, have that feeling in the pit of your stomach? Look, this is a year I really could break out, and I could put up some, solid numbers here, and really get people, to notice you, sit out there. I had to ask you about that.
Yeah, going in, I was pumped, and I knew I was gonna have a good season, and I met my expectations for the most part for all the numbers at the end of the season, and I'm really stoked and really excited to see what I put up next year.
We talk about the analytics of the game, so you can fill me in on some of these numbers that you had provided. 6.53 turf, you ran 6.75 at the PG. On grass and rain, hit weekly with your hitting coach on the hit racks, average XVL 91. Your max was 104 with metal and 101 with wood. So break down those numbers, Jake, for everyone out there.
The hit tracks is such a useful tool for me. It shows ball flight, trajectory, launch angle, and those are some of my exit vehicles that I had. So I love it. It shows me, it gives me feedback right away on what I'm doing, and I can make super quick adjustments to my swing based on what I see with the numbers. So my goal is always to keep improving them, and it's been, increasing throughout the season and going into the summer. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's just remarkable, Jake, how the technology is advanced that, you really can, as I said, with those numbers, be able to, as far as utilizing and just changing, your techniques, your fundamentals, at the plate. Just talk about that aspect.
Yeah. In-game adjustments have always been tricky because your high school coaches don't let you go on your phone.
Yeah.
So it's been hard to make those quick adjustments. So with the new technology, such as the hit tracks, I can see every single swing that I've taken right away. And that really does help you break it down, and is super quick, and just to see, why did I miss that ball by an inch? What am I doing? So the very next pitch, I can make my swing perfect. So it's really, the technology is going in the right way, and it's really cool to be part of that.
Hey, again, you listed that some of the differences that you bring to the plate in terms of, your ability with your speed, with your hitting, being able to, hit it out of the park, to talk about that, as well as into the gap, be able to really influence and change the game, as I said, when you're up there at the plate. Just talk about that, how you've been able to, again, progress with that, with those techniques as well, Jake.
Yeah. So from a young age, I've always had natural pop, if you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I've been able to ball, with power my whole life. And it's kind of weird because I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'10" without spikes on. I'm around 5'11", spikes. So it's odd because I hit the ball with good distance at my height and I was never fast. So as I develop my speed, I can now hit for power along my speed. So I can, go gap to gap and do a hustle double or bust out a triple along the yard every at bat that I have a chance. So it's a very unique tool, and that's, I think, why I'm such a unique player.
Yeah. And, we've seen that trend, over the years, Jake, whether it's high school, college, or even Major League Baseball, a lot smaller players that can, be able to, drive that ball, again, out of the yard, or just, doubles, triples, as you alluded to. I mean, perfect example, you look at Jose Altuve of the Astros. I mean, he's not, a big guy also. You've seen, again, the numbers he's put up over the years as well.
100%. And I think people are starting to figure out that you don't need to be 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" to, put the yard. And really, it's a really interesting seeing, like Jose Altuve, as you said, and it's, creating this new light for smaller players that, have just as enough capability to hit the ball out of the park as any other bigger guy.
Yeah, no, true. Hey, as much as we talk about the physical part of the game of baseball, let's talk about the mental part. You talk about, with meditation, talk about in terms of that leading, to working on, I said, your craft and perfecting it as well.
Yeah. Meditation has been something I just recently started doing, and I've used this, it's like a device that you clip onto your ear and it shows heart rate. So the goal is to get into the flow where your whole body is relaxed and get into this zone where everything is calm. And I think that is so important at the plate, where you have to be able to block everything out. People chirping at you, voices coming at you, and just focus on that to ball. And meditation has really been helping with that. Yeah, I'm starting to love it.
Yeah, I mean, as we know, with any sport, it can be very stressful, at time, the majority of the time. So anything you can do to, as I said, aid you in terms of relaxing at the plate, or even if you're in the outfield as well, Jake.
100%.
Okay. Again, as I said, just a spectacular year for you. Made first team for outfielder. I said, talk about that. You with the information you provided, 3 home runs over 400 feet. One of them being to the opposite field. That had to feel good, Jake, being able to hit those out, at a long distance.
Yeah. And that carrying with me over the summer, I had an inter squad last weekend where I hit another ball with wood, over 400 feet. So it's a really good feeling, staying hot and going into the summer, and having the title of first team all league. I'm super excited to see what the summer brings me.
That's, interesting point you brought up is, and we talked about it before, was with metal bats and then the wood bats. I wanted to get your perspective on that, because primarily high school, using the metal bats, but being able to now work again with using a wood bat as well. Just talk about that element as well, Jake.
Yeah. So I think the point of using the wood bat, from my perspective during the summer, is that it shows the raw ability, the raw pop of a player, where the metal bat has some cushion where you can miss the barrel a little bit and the ball is still going to fly. But with the wood bat, the room of error is so little, and you have to barrel up the ball, right on the tee of the sweet spot. So summer really is about, putting on a performance for the scouts. And if they can see you do it with the wood bat really well, then they're going to see what they can, guess of what you're going to do with the metal bat at the collegiate level.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, let's talk about your training, said for each season, especially this past season. Talk about, outside of team activities, as well as, practicing with the team, but, strength and conditioning, I'm sure, again, plays a vital factor into it as well. Just talk about that, Jake.
I go to the gym every night. It's part of my routine. And I think having a routine really helps me stay in the cycle of putting the work every day. So having a routine is so big. So I try to go to the gym every night, get a lift, and I do sprint training twice a week with my track coach. I do my hitting once a week. This is all individual stuff. And then I throwing coach to help me with my outfielding mechanics, bring my velo up. Yeah. But that's basically what I do on a weekly basis. As well as dieting, I focus on my diet. I track my meals and try and fit at least 4 meals a day along with protein shakes. So yeah.
Excellent point you made. I just, I think a lot of people tend to forget how much nutrition,
Mhm.
and then of course, recovery also, like, resting your body. Just talk, I mean, because that is, I'm telling you, like, for you, for younger athletes, really, that's really important, Jake.
100%. So, yeah, recovery is just as important as working out or getting strong. And if you don't, stretch or recover right, it leads to a lot of injuries, and that's something that's impacted a lot of players. So after I lift, I go in the steam room and I do my stretch routine and I roll out before I work out. So that it's a big part of the game, and every athlete needs to develop, a good stretching pattern.
Yeah, definitely having that flexibility, is again, so essential. Hey, it's going to be a busy summer for you. You're playing summer
Oh,
ball.
it is.
As you said, you're headed down south. There are going to be a lot of eyes on you playing some big tournaments, Division I schools, as you listed: Tulane, Louisiana Tech, TCU, Oklahoma, Kansas State, Indiana University. So I know you're definitely stoked for that and excited. So just talk about that, Jake.
Yeah. I'm get the privilege of playing at all the schools this summer with BPA, and the goals, to get some attention and just have fun with the team this summer. And I'm super excited. It's gonna be an awesome summer.
That's great. I mean, it said to have those schools, and, like, you'll be able to again showcase your abilities, I said, at the plate and also in the outfield, Jake.
Mhm.
Let's switch to, I want to switch back to Capistrano Valley Christian High School. Talk about the support from, fellow students, athletics, the administration as well there, Jake.
Yeah, so Capo Valley Christian we're a smaller private school. We
Mhm.
got about 400 kids at 500 kids.
Okay.
So it's a smaller school. So academic wise, we get a lot of attention, individual attention from the teachers, which I really helps me with my grades, as
Yeah.
they're equally as important to baseball for me. And the baseball team's awesome. We all love each other. We got a great bond. We made a decent CIF run this year. We should have got the rings, but yeah, I love the school. I love the team. I love the program. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely excelled in the classroom. You're a 4.0 GPA. I know you listed that you're interested in majoring in business and sales in college. So you definitely, have that right mindset in terms of, being organized, having that time management. Talk about just being able to balance out, both academics and athletics as well, Jake.
Yeah, it's always tough with putting in the extra work outside of practice and also fitting in the time to work on your grades. And it's tricky, but that's the life of an athlete. You chose that road, and it's always going to be a grind. So the more you put up with the struggle and you grind it out, the more success you're going to have later on the road.
Yeah, and again, going back to meditation, I'm sure, like, you're blocking out, as you said, all that noise, not only during the games, but outside of, off the field as well, Jake.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're right.
All right. I know that there are a couple of mitigating factors for you in terms of when, searching for a college. You talked about winning a national championship, a staff that can develop players, and a solid academic reputation. Talk about that, Jake.
Yeah. I mean, in my eyes, I would love a school that could help me bring to light my abilities and help me further enhance them and bring me to the best baseball player that I can be, but also have me in the classroom and help develop me as a student as well. And of course, everyone's goal is to win a ring at a college World Series. So that's another one of mine.
Hard to believe you're just about a year away. I just had to get your. I mean, it's amazing. We all talk about how time flies by so quickly a year, Jake.
Yeah, I remember walking on the field my freshman year, and I'm sitting here going into my senior summer. So it's really crazy. My
Yeah,
junior.
definitely.
Well, hmm.
Hey, let's can't forget about family. Let's talk about your parents, your two brothers. They say you grew up in San Clemente, California, a small beach town, hour north of San Diego. Your dad is a therapist with a specialization in addiction treatment. Your mom is a special education teacher and literacy specialist. I mean, great. You couldn't ask her a better. I said, mom and dad, in terms of their backgrounds. And just talk about that. And just again, the support they've given you during this journey. Said in high school here.
Yeah, I love my family, and they've been with me every step of the way throughout high school and previously, and even in middle school, driving to me all of my games. And yeah, I mean, I could not ask for a better a support team for me. They do everything, and yeah, I love them.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah,
Hey, just talk about the community as well. Like, just the support that you received as well. I'm sure that, growing up town for a long time, like, you'd be able to, have that support system as well. Just talk about that, Jake.
yeah. I got a super tight knit our friend group, and we've been friends since we were all little kids, and it's
Mhm.
really cool to see where everyone's going now, going up into college, and they've been with me every step of the way, and yeah, really cool to see how we've all grown together.
That's wonderful. That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you definitely have a lot of hobbies. You listed them: off-road, bass fishing, camping, hunting, playing golf, and playing the guitar. Hey, it's great to have that skill set, that prospective colleges can look like. As I'm sure, like, just when you kick back and, you're able to relax because, again, you're putting in so much effort, so much time into, your academics, athletics. Just talk about how important that is, because you want to be that overall person, and be well-rounded as well, in terms of your background, Jake.
Yeah, it's always good to take some time off and enjoy yourself. So I love I have a forerunner, so I love going with my buddies,
Okay.
and we off road, we go fishing all the time. So it's always good to have a good time and just balance
Yeah.
your free time with baseball and academics, and just don't get too stressed out about it. It'll have fun too.
Yeah.
Thing that a lot of athletes miss out on.
No, I agree. Hey, I wanted to ask you, going back to the game of baseball. I know your dad coached you, and you've had a special relationship, I'm sure, with your dad, when it comes to baseball. What makes the game so special to play? Some of the intangibles, some of the things that stand out, maybe during the course of the game, a practice, even like, off the field, that uh, you just say, like, this is why I continue, to play the game. And, I said, I want to go further. Just talk about that, Jake.
Yeah, well, baseball being a game of mainly failure is what makes it so special, is that you're gonna fail more times than you succeed. And that's something so special about baseball, is that when you get that home run or you get that clutch hit, it's it's almost rare. So it feels all that much better. And that feeling of euphoria is all what make baseball makes is just amazing. That feeling.
Hey, I know that you played travel ball when you were younger. You were a catcher until you were in seventh grade, and then transitioned to the infield. And you also played football in high school. I can't forget that as well. So I had to ask you first about those early days, in terms of playing baseball as well, Jake.
Yeah, it's pretty little fuzzy early on, but I
Yeah.
remember time with it. I played rugby during middle school, and I loved
Okay.
that. Did never really played football up until high school, and I put the pads on and had a blast. That actually really helped me with my baseball career, helping me with speed and mobility and
Mhm.
movement. Yeah, and I love football now. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's what I was always interested, that being a multi-star athlete, and just playing other sports, how that impacts, another sport you play. As you talked about, flexibility, conditioning. Just talk about that as well, Jake.
Yeah, so football, or playing a different sport of any kind brings it. It goes to show that it just brings a new perspective to you on different movements and such. So playing football really helped me unlock lateral movement and almost an aggressive mindset to baseball. And it was really cool to see myself bring over a mentality and sort of footwork over to the baseball field from football. And I'd recommend playing or football or a different sport if you're a baseball player. It really helped me with my baseball career.
That's great.
Mm.
Before I ask the last question, and then you get the floor, just going back to, Capistrano, said, just in terms of the administration athletic department, because they play, I was thinking about just now, because I think it's important to highlight those, people, because, they do so much work behind the scenes, really,
Mm.
for the student athletes. I was just wondering if there's anybody in terms of you want to really, like, thank and just, highlight, just in terms of that support as well. I just wanted to ask you about that, Jake.
Yeah, my baseball coach, Clemente Bonilla, has been there with me and really given me a bunch of good guidance and teaching with the game of baseball, and has unlocked a bunch of new skills for me, as well as Josue Lopez. He's helped me out a ton. He's the assistant head coach on the varsity team.
Mhm.
My athletic director, Eric Presler, has also helped me a ton with football. He's the head football coach as well, so he helped me with the training and conditioning with football. So I'd like to thank all of giving me all the wisdom they've allowed me to have.
That's great. And I don't think you want to forget your teammates as well. I have to ask you, because I think in terms of all those practices and games, bus trips, for away games, just talk about this year's team and just what made it so special to play on Jake.
Yeah, the team was awesome this year. Just the camaraderie we had. A couple of my close friends, Hunter Long, Adrian Blanchett, Boston Barrow, Hayden Carlson. Those are some of my super close buddies on the team, and we just had a blast together playing every day, going on the bus, having fun. Yeah. And I wouldn't trade a single day of that season for anything else. I had a great time.
That's great. Hey, just talk about the level of competition that you faced up until this point in terms of during, the regular season, and maybe even playoffs, but just talk about that as well, Jake. Like, I'm sure you've gone up against the best of the best. Just talk about that, the past couple of years, especially this past season.
Yeah. When you're facing D1 pitchers that are committed or D1 teams, you got to fall back and trust your training, and what you've put in the past is really going to show to when you are put to the test by the best arms that are in the high school, or best defense, best hitting. And yeah, you just got to trust your training in that situation.
You gave a little insight before what your advice would be for, I think, younger athletes, kids, even high school now. I'm just wondering, just if you want to add to that layer, just what you're in a perfect position, said you definitely have, flourished, said at every stop, and again, a year left here, again, to, display your skills. Just talk about what, especially in this day and age, because there's so many influences out there, what your message, your advice would be to those kids out there, Jake.
Yeah. I've been told this growing up, it's just trust the process, and you put in all the work that you've done, all the hard work, and you keep doing that throughout whatever grade you're in up into high school. You're going to see results, and it's only a matter of time. So just trust the process and have fun with it. You gotta love baseball because it's a game, and don't think about anything more than that.
Before you get the floor, I was just wondering, like, with high school, and you've played, of course, in summer ball, travel ball, just in terms of, the crowds, just the overall atmosphere. We talk about the game of baseball. I really wanted to ask you about that, just, from your end, just what you've been able to experience, and just, some of the memories, that really stand out, Jake.
Yeah. The crowds make it all that much more fun. And when you're sitting in the outfield or up at the plate and the crowd's cheering for you or even against you, it creates that mindset of, wow, I'm really in this moment. And it's really fun. The higher levels you get, when you get to high school and you're in a CIF championship or a CIF game and the crowds are packed, there's 1,000 people at your stadium. It's awesome. It's a great feeling, and it's really fun. So when you'll be excited.
Terrific. Okay, Jake, as said, you get the floor here in terms of, your message to, family, friends, classmates, said Capistrano Valley, Christian High School, the community as well. The floor is yours.
Yeah. I shout out to my school. I love Capistrano Valley Christian and all they've done for me, the baseball program, the academics, my family, my hitting coach, Dan Kused, my sprinting coach, Emmanuel Moody, and my throwing coach, Brian Rao, for all helping me. And my journey's still going, and I'm on this trail, and I'm excited to see what comes for me this summer and next season. So thank you for all that have helped me out.
Terrific. Hey, just an incredible honor and privilege, Jake, being able to interview you. for top preps. And, again, wishing you all the best, I said, your upcoming senior year at Capistrano Valley Christian High School.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Raj. Thank you, Top Press, for having me. Super blessed.
Thank you.
Thank you.